It's a great privilege to have here in Romania one of executives of IMI, International Mediation Institute, Irena Vanenkova, and she's here for a workshop and for a conference. Tell us about why are you here in Romania regarding mediation?
Thank you very much for inviting me here, and this is my first time in Romania, and the reason I'm here is that probably you know Adi Gavrila, Constantin Adi Gavrila.
Of course, one of my friends.
He is the one who invited me here for participating in the conference, 2 conferences, and the workshop or the council meeting today in this wonderful place called Craiova.
Give us some details about IMI. What is IMI?
IMI, and I like you pronounced it here, IMI.
Yes,
is
the Romanian pronunciation.
Yeah, it's very, very nice. And it is the International Mediation Institute. And as you can guess from the name, it is international. Mm-hmm. It is mediation, and it is institute. It's not the association. Mm-hmm. It's not the union. It's not something. It's an institute because it is not a membership organization, and it is not a provider of services. It is a part of this servant leadership concept. Serve in the field all stakeholders in mediation to make mediation mainstream. Mm-hmm. And to make mediation a real profession which will be recognized, and actually it will be the first global profession in the world.
Until now, all I knew about IMI is the fact that IMI is one of the best institutes around Europe regarding mediation, and that IMI has very solid standards.
This is very, very kind of you to say one of the best. The international part in the name of IMI draws us into the international perspective. So it's not only in Europe, it's not only in any continent. It was created as a user-driven initiative to help users to be more assured of the quality of the process, which is called mediation, and to help them to make mediation happen, and to have the assurance quality mechanism for those people who need help of professionals called mediators to solve the problem or to do the deals.
Yeah. And of course provide certification, the quality of certification for mediators.
The certification bit came as part of this quality insurance mechanism, and that was what users of mediation wanted, to help them to make informed decision who can be the right mediator for their particular case. Not to go for the prima donna, not to go for the superstar, but to have the professional who could be really helpful to them in their situation. And that's how certification came, to make users really be sure what mediator is and who mediator is, what is his experience, is he competent or she, and how to to get a feeling whether that mediator will be the right one to serve your particular need in your particular situation. And that's how this certification system came into place. And it was discussed and we discussed it earlier.
Yeah.
What makes mediator competent? And we say that it is usual thing, very usual thing, common thing. Experience, skills, and knowledge. And this is the three things which are assessed in the IMI certification. So mediator has to demonstrate that he is experienced, that he is knowledgeable, and he is skillful. And I'm saying he, but it could be she. And if I say that in America, for example, I will be sued for the discrimination for the women. So we say that mediator is a professional who can help parties, and parties need to make an informed decision, both or three or whatever party are in the picture. They need to make an informed decision who would be the best person to help them, who would be the right person, the most suitable one.
I understand. Is IMI certification an international recognition for mediators?
IMI certification, exactly as you said, it's a recognition. It's an international recognition. And the confusion sometimes is that mediators think that they need to do cases in between countries to be IMI certified, and that IMI certification is about international practice. It is exactly as you said, it's international recognition of the competency of mediators.
So it's an option, not an obligation.
Nothing is an obligation.
Of course.
But we had support from mediators, because mediators would like to be, competent mediators would like to be distinguished in the layer of, you know, when you trained,
Mm-hmm.
you get the license, and as with driving, you get the license, you take your first car, and you start driving. And then with the experience, with the time, you become not a professional driver, but an experienced driver. And that's exactly what it is. So and for the users also, you need to know who is just starting and who is already in the experience part. So this is the recognition of the competency of the mediators. And mediators really would like to be distinguished. And another thing is, for mediation to become a profession, we need support.
Of course.
And becoming IMI certified is supporting this movement, or supporting this dear aim and goal for mediation become a profession.
So, if you want to drive, you need a driving license. If you want to race, if you want to go in a championship, you need something different.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And so this is what certification is.
Excellent. It's an excellent idea.
Perfect.
I want to talk you now about Romanian mediation, about how Europe sees us. I mean the professional level of Romanian mediators. You've been here in Romania for 2 days, and you talk with a lot of mediators from Romania.
I did talk with a lot of mediators, and I was really impressed. But I cannot, unfortunately, answer your question on how Europe sees Romanian mediators. I can only say my experience, and I was really impressed by the quality and the devotion of Romanian mediators to mediation. And the work which was done, which is recognized in the latest EU document, the work of the Romanian Mediation Council is the example for others how it could be done to promote mediation, to embrace mediation in the life of the whole country. And I'm really impressed. And I'm sure that the level of Romanian mediators are very, very top. And I'm urging Romanian mediators to become IMI certified, to help to make mediation a profession, and to have the qualifying assessment program here to qualify mediators for IMI certification, and to show the world the pioneering role of Romanian mediators in the mediation world.
Thank you for these nice words. Now I want to ask you generally, what qualities, professional qualities, needs a member of a national mediation council? In general.
Oh, this is a very difficult question because that's first of all, you need to see what National Mediation Council should be. I strongly believe that there should be a professional national body in each country, and also the connection of all national professional bodies on the international scale. And that's my dream, and that's the vision of IMI, and I think this is very important. But how you do that, and what should be whether there should be members of the professional body, or what form it should be in, this is for us to discuss and to see how that will work in different countries. But the necessity of having professional body, which is not a mediation provider or a mediation trainer, this body should be really the place to make mediation profession sustainable. And to work out how we can do that, it's a challenging task, but I think it is the task we can do together. So whether there should be members of the council, who should be the members of the council, or should it be called union, should it be called a professional institute or something. And a lot of things are discussed about what kinds of rules and qualifications and everything should be there. I have talked with the founder of the one of the national bodies, and it's on the way. And he told me one example which I never thought before. But there was a case when a mediator was accused of not performing professional duties properly, and mediator was sued. And there was a court hearing, the case, against the mediator. And mediator didn't have any professional organization to back the mediator. And this is one aspect which is, and even I didn't think about that. And I think it's a very important aspect. It's not only to regulate mediators and to put, all this certification and all that. It also to give a backup to mediators, to make mediators give them a feeling of belonging and being supported and being part of the profession when you are in a situation when you are accused of something which is not true. Because mediator did what mediators should do. And the party perceived as they didn't get what they wanted, they perceived that mediator didn't do the job properly. And these are different things. So if we had a national professional organization who could really step up and explain that this is what mediator should do in a mediation, and this is what mediator has done, so there will be no confusion and no things like that happening.
Thank you very much. What means sufficiently experienced mediator in EMI's approach?
The approach to the experienced mediator is a very challenging one, I have to tell you. And you can imagine, and probably you have the same thing in Romania.
Yes, we have.
Where you couldn't agree what kind of criteria should be there, whether you need to put the number of hours of training, whether you need to put the number of hours of attending conferences, whether you need to put the number of mediations, or whether you need to put the hours of mediations. And you can imagine how challenging it is on the international level.
It's a big dilemma on the national field, of course. In the international
and
field,
in the national, it's multiplied. Yes. So we had an international consultation and discussion which took 9 months.
Whoa.
And so during that consultation, we agreed to focus. And I have to tell you that the Independent Standards Commission, which is the body in IMI, which is independent from the board of directors and any advisory council and executive director, this is the body which is really setting up standards. That's why it's called the Independent Standards Commission. And I have to tell you that not every member agrees with what is there. And as we say in IMI, in IMI, that nothing is cut in stone. This is the work in progress, and the criteria is developing and will be developed to address the needs. What you ask in the experienced mediator is coming from the 3 main components of what makes mediator competent. And it was agreed that the 3 elements are the knowledge, the skills, and the experience. And it is more or less acceptable now what is the skills and how you can assess that, and what is the knowledge and how you can assess that. The biggest debate was, as you rightly pointed out, on the experience. How you defined experience. And the easiest
and
answer
how you
was,
measure experience.
Exactly.
It's not easy to do this.
And people say it's easy. You just say that mediators should have 1,000 mediations. And if you go to New Zealand, you will find a lot of mediators who have 1,000 mediations. And you say, how long this mediation lasts? Half an hour. 1 hour, 1.5 hours. How would you deal with that? So it's not enough to put the number of mediations. And also, you can have mediators who say, I had 3 mediations. And each mediation took 5 years. And we have examples on that.
It's not
What
easy.
would you do that? What would you do? Will you say, no, you need to have 20 mediations? Would you say that? And you say, no, we cannot qualify you. It's not true. Because sometimes mediation takes a lot of time, several days, several months, and the complexity of the mediation should be taken into account. But you need, as you said, you need some kind of a measurable, identifiable something. And that's why when we say that mediator experience, that you have to be sure that mediator has real experience. But to have kind of guidance, and you notice that in the criteria, this is not the criteria, it's a note in a very small font saying that 20 mediations, 200 hours is a kind of the measurable which you can
limit.
Use. Yeah, it's if you have the 20 full-scale mediations, which usually in Europe is 1 day, 1 or 2 days, but sometimes mediation is 2-3 days. So that's why we put 200 hours. So if a mediator has experience of more than 200 hours, then you can consider that to be a measurable identification, but it's not the only one, and it should not be the only one. The number of hours, the number of mediation is a helping tool to see how experienced mediator is, and every qualifying assessment program should create their own methodology, how they measure, how they assess this experience. It's not an easy, it's an easy question, but it's not an easy answer.
Certainly. With your permission, this interview in a written form will appear in the Mediation magazine from Romania. I want to thank you very much for this very interesting discussion about mediation. I want to thank you for cherishing your expertise and experience in mediation, and I'll hope I'll see you Monday on Moscow.
Yes, I'm looking very much forward to that, and I really appreciate you for inviting me here, and I hope that our talk will give some clarification to the confusion which is always there, what IMI is. And also I would like to say mulțumesc.
Cu mare plăcere. Eu vă mulțumesc.